Why do I feel embarrassed about pads rather than tampons? I don't know why.
Because they're like nappies?
Yeah, because they're a bit like nappies. Yeah. You don't feel sexy.
Essentially, women having like 10 good days a month where they're not having to deal with this issue. Imagine if that was men. Like, they can't even handle a cold. They cannot handle like a sniffle.
We'd have a 2-week working week.
They can't handle like a pollen in the air.
What is that? Such an innocent little string that it's like it poses millions of questions.
This episode of Miss Me contains very strong language, adult themes, and discussions about abortion.
Hello and welcome to Listen Bitch. It's a period-themed episode of Listen Bitch. Been waiting to do this for a while. We did talk about periods at Miss Me Live, and if you weren't lucky enough to get a ticket, then you missed our incredibly interesting chat about menstruation. So we thought, let's give it a whole episode.
Let's give it a whole show.
We did have quite a lot of good period stories. I was quite shocked,
that's
actually.
on period. And that's on period.
What is that? Is that how Americans say it? No, Americans say...
No, a friend of mine called Daniel in LA, it's like his catchphrase. So anything that I say, if I'm like, let's go out for dinner, he'll be like, and that's on period.
What does that mean? And that's like in the diary happening?
No. It's more like that's a fact.
Oh, good. Oh, I like that.
So it's like, that girl's a bitch and that's on period.
Like in the same way that you'd be like, I don't like girls who do that, period.
That's on period.
That's on period. But the old school way would have been like period, because it means full stop in America. And I quite like saying full stop.
Don't you just?
Yes, lovely Americans. And what do they call menstruation? Still called menstruation in America? Menstruating?
Period, yeah.
They say period.
On the rag. You on the rag?
They definitely don't say on the rag.
I'm on the rag.
America,
I'm on the rag.
So upsetting. Or some people say Flo has come to town.
Ooh, please. That is disgusting.
In the 1950s. Yeah, but let's go into this, because think about how taboo having a period has been throughout the ages. I've done my research. Let's have our first question for today's Listen Bitch about periods and all that they bring with them.
Hiya, my name is Amy and I'm from Coventry. I just started menstruating basically at the age of 24. I think my body just wants to play a bit of a cruel trick on me. It's got a sense of humour, I'm not sure. But essentially I've got all these new hormones and I'm just wondering how you dealt with them when you were a teenager. I've taken up kickboxing and journaling, but I truly feel like I could dismantle a house with my bare hands. Just wanted to ask how you sort of dealt with it and if you had any kind of advice for someone who's having loads of hormones and kind of teenage hormones, I guess. Love the show. Okay, love you, bye.
Did she mean that she just started her period at 24?
Yeah. God, fuck a duck. Where were you when you started?
I was at a boarding school called Millfield in Somerset. And I didn't have any pads or any Tampax or anything like that. And I was too scared to ask anyone for anything, so I just shoved tissue down my pants.
But were you excited?
I don't know if I was excited. I just sort of like couldn't believe it. I was like, it's like that thing where you know something's coming and then it happens. And you're like, ah!
Yeah, totally. It's a very serious thing to look down for the first time.
Oh my God, I'm a human! I am a human!
Yeah, human and a woman. I was a bit like, oh, I am becoming a woman.
I'm real.
Yeah.
But the side effects of menstruating, I am so dissociated from myself that I never really connect the dots. Still. So I'll be like, moody for a few days. Maybe I'll even have some cramps. And I'll be like, oh my God, my tummy's really hurting. I think I'm ill. I think I'm getting ill. And then my period will come. And I'll be like, oh, maybe that was connected. And it's like, Lily, you're 40 now. Like, you should probably be able to figure out the 3 days of terrible mood, followed by a couple of days of cramps, followed by the bleeding out of your vulva, is probably all related. Probably all related.
It happens every month, yeah. This is maybe our generation, though, because now I know quite a few younger girls that I work with who have, like, serious period apps. And I wanted to say to this lady, to answer her question, like, I think it's a really good thing to get. I think I want to join their lead, follow their lead, because it's about everything. It's about when you're ovulating, like all these different things about how your body will feel throughout the month. Because a period, let's be honest, is about 2 weeks out of a month, because you get PMS about a week before. Then you're like, but my period's not for 2 weeks. You're a nut. You feel like everything's awful. You just can't. You're frustrated, angry. I hate PMS. Again, I never associate with my period. I just think I'm nuts. Then you get cramps, and then your period comes, and then you have about 10 days of glory, and then it's right back again for the whole PMS cycle. So wouldn't it be nice to just be able to track it? Just be able to track it and be like, okay, so you'd go, I feel nuts, but your period app would go,
I don't know. I like the element of surprise, you know? I feel like
okay.
I don't really need to control the knowledge around that stuff. Maybe it'd be helpful. Maybe I'll try it for a couple of months, shall I?
Is that your advice? Yeah, I think our advice is, and Lil's going to do it as well, get one of those new period apps that tell you absolutely everything about what's going on with your body. And they'll also be like, if you had some mushrooms today, it would really help. You should probably have some aniseed in your tea. Like, it's really bespoke. And it feels like someone's really looking after you throughout the cycle of being women.
How does it know that?
I don't know, because I'm not on it yet. You tell me when you sign up. I'll sign up to Raya and you sign up to the period app. Let's have a good summer.
What's Raya got to do with the price of fish?
Because it's an app I don't want to go near. So if I sign up to that and you sign up to this, let's see how our summers change.
Okay, deal.
Okay, deal. And lovely lady that asked us the question, that's our advice. Get one of the apps, babe. Just use your phone. That's the answer. Okay. You want to ask for another question?
Oh, we're televising this for the first time and I'm yawning my way through. Sorry.
So
I'm
maybe
usually
don't
more
yawn.
engaged. I'm usually more engaged. Sorry, guys.
Bollocks. She does this in between every question. She's just not usually being filmed. Well, always filmed, but not all of it being put out. I hope we're doing okay. God, this is going out on YouTube, Lily. Lily, sorry, come back. Can we have another question, please?
Hi, Miquita. Hi, Lily. This is Kaylee from Portsmouth. Absolutely love the pod and love you guys. Came to see Miss Me Live on the Thursday with my best friend Charlotte, and we had a fab time. Felt like we'd made two more best friends in you guys. So my question about menstruation is, what is your opinion of menstruation, period, education in schools? The reason I ask is because I started my period when I was 9 years old, so I was in year 5 at school, obviously knew nothing about it, thought I was dying, and I have a real memory of only learning about periods when I was in secondary school, and it must have been about year 9, so what's that, I would have been 14. They separated the boys from the girls, we all sat in a room, learnt about our ovaries, what happens in a period, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I already knew what was going on because I'd started my period years ago, as had a lot of other girls. And what also bothered me was that they split the boys and the girls. And I think boys should learn the same thing as girls when it comes to period. So anyway, that's my question. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. What was the question, though? Do you think there should be better education in schools? Well, I mean, obviously. Definitely.
I'll tell you why I think there should be better education in schools, because I have 2 teenage girls who ask me about this stuff and I actually don't know the answer. Both of them have had their periods.
Shut up!
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they both got them within like 2 weeks of each other.
Oh, I suppose that happens.
Maybe I shouldn't talk about this on the podcast. Is it a bit embarrassing?
Maybe we shouldn't. I think that's because when I started my period, my mum took me to 192 and told the whole room and was like, champagne for everybody. I think
you've told this story 3 times on this podcast, but okay.
Did I?
Yeah. Will, have you heard it?
I think I talked about that on Miss Me Live. But either way, she told everyone because she'd read this book, which was like, celebrate your child's, transition and, moment. But I will be the teacher. I'll be Miss. Periods in the Middle Ages. This is for everyone that's, growing daughters and everyone that is a woman. The shame around periods kicked into high gear in the Middle Ages. So we're talking between the 5th and the 14th century. Due to influences from religion and a lack of understanding of biology, menstruation was pretty taboo. However many centuries later, I still whisper, I've got my period. See, a man's just come in here now. Hiya. And now I'm scared to say it. So it's something about the taboo nature and the shame that obviously has to just be unlocked to a place where I don't feel we're going into Boss Man to buy tampons, and I still do. I still do. Isn't that ridiculous?
I don't have that embarrassment.
Well, you're happy to buy tampons and be like, I'm on my period. That is me.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I would walk into Boss Man and be like, where are your Tampax?
That's a really good
Where
way
are the green ones? Heavy.
Super.
Super Plus? Hello?
Oh, yeah, this was a big thing at Miss Me Live. Me and Lily realised. I said, because I was on day 2.
Boss Man, have you got Super Plus or what?
I said, I'm on day 2. We've got the first day of Miss Me Live. Oh my God, I have cramps and it's really heavy. And we realised, me and Lily, after 40 years of knowing each other, we didn't know what each other's tampon usage size was. Like, I said, do you want some tampons?
Well, mine changed.
After babies?
No, mine changed when I got my coil fitted. Now I basically don't have a period and I don't really need Tampax, but sometimes I might. In which case I'll have the yellows, just very light ones.
Oh, please. Oh, excuse me. Just a little yellow. Fuck you. So that's what you've become.
Yeah, very light.
I just need a tiny one for my tight little vagina and my very light flow.
Mm-hmm. My little tiny vagina.
Let's have another question.
Hi, Miquita and Lily. I was just wondering what your most embarrassing period story is, because today I went to a restaurant with my dad and I'm menstruating at the moment, and I was sitting on a cream chair for about 2 hours, and I get up and I've leaked all over the chair. It was super embarrassing. The waiters were males, quickly cleaned it up discreetly, but still super embarrassing. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. So I was just wondering what your embarrassing, quote unquote, embarrassing period stories were. Thank you so much for the podcast. It's great.
Well, I told mine on Miss Me Live. Back, tell it again. Yeah, I bled on, I was on a white sofa interviewing Kano for Pop World. Do you know what? I actually got it wrong. I thought it was Kano. It wasn't. It was the Kooks. And I was on a white sofa interviewing them in a white denim skirt, mini skirt. Stood up, everything's fine, la la la. And then went and sat on Kevin, my makeup artist's white jeans, and then stood up and he was like, Keats, there's blood all over my jeans, come to the loo, let's go. And so it was like a very close shave, and the trauma of what Luke from the Kooks could have seen.
You never recovered from.
Never recovered. Just what could have happened. But wait, also when I went to Cliveden House the other day, and this is now I know because of my fibroids, but it was like terrible. Like I just like had to like have like 10 tampons a day for just a normal period, which is just not how a healthy body should be. And I got blood on the chairs at when me and Lauren were having dinner. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so humiliated. But they were really lovely, but I couldn't go back downstairs after that happened.
I literally don't have enough of a period for anything like that to happen.
Oh, okay. So there's a theme here. I'm happy this is visualised because you need Lily's facial expressions to really get the atmosphere of this episode.
It's because I have a coil though, bitch. It's not a natural thing. It's not like if I had that coil taken out, best believe I would be leaking all over the shop.
Okay, good. Okay, great.
Shall we have a break?
Yeah, I'm not on my period, but I'll take a period of break.
Yeah. It's that time.
Welcome back to Miss Me. I mean, listen, bitch. There is a clear distinction. This is Listen, bitch. Last week was Miss Me.
One is filmed and one isn't, so that's the distinction.
Quite. There you go. Great. Let's have another question then.
Hello, my name's Amanda. I live in London and I'm on my period, so I'm over the moon about this week's topic. I've been trying to normalise talking about periods in the workplace for some time because I want people to know who I work with that I am suffering and for them to expect less of me that day. Still find it quite hard to admit to. Joked about updating my Slack status to like a red blob when I'm on my period. My question is, do you tell people professionally when you're on your period? Do you feel okay doing it? Does it help? I just quite like to normalize it. Anyway, thank you. Bye.
I think you should. I mean, I don't notice mine enough for it to be an issue, but I think obviously a lot of people do. And like what you were saying at the top of the show about essentially women having like 10 good days a month where they're not having to deal with this issue. Imagine if that was men. Like, they can't even handle a cold. They cannot handle like a sniffle.
We'd have a 2-week working week.
They can't handle like a pollen in the air, giving them a couple of sneezes. Imagine if they like literally, 2/3 of their life was like informed by cramps and blood coming out of their fucking penises. No. They would be like, we're off work, find some women to do our work for us that we still get paid for. And that would be how it ran.
That would be how society would be.
We're going to stay in bed for these 2 weeks because we're grumpy and then we're bleeding.
Do you think that Dino would give us the day off if we had like unbearable period cramps, which can debilitate you? I don't think they're allowed.
Yeah, I think he would, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Dee. Yes, I would. Okay, noted. I'll remember that.
But probably like not every month.
No, I think that would... See, I wouldn't ask for that, though.
You'd be like, didn't this happen last month? And you'd be like, yeah, it happens every month. And you'd be like, well, when I can't really help you.
This again?
Yeah.
This again?
Maybe you should go to the doctors and get some painkillers. Maybe I should. Maybe I fucking should.
Okay. All right, Dino actually didn't say any of this, so let's maybe... stop attacking him in a fake conversation. And then I said, fuck you, Dino. I can't do this anymore. No, I think I've asked for the day off work in the past. I think maybe once. Actually, you were there. It was when, do you remember when we did Royal Albert Hall? It was like called Fashion Rocks.
Oh, yeah. Fashion
Rocks. And you were singing with Chanel. It was like all these pop stars would come and sing with a brand. It was a very, very early Met Ball energy. And then T4 would like cover it. So sometimes me and Lil would see each other at things like that, which was always nice. But I'd had an abortion the day before.
A shmushmushman.
And a shmushmushman. I had a shmushmushman. And
so I don't know why we're laughing.
I don't know why we're laughing either. It was really quite serious. And I was 24. And I didn't say, why don't I call in and say, I've had an abortion, I can't move from pain. And I thought, no, you can't do that. It's Fashion Rocks. It's absolutely just who's going to host the T4 coverage of Fashion Rocks? And I could have just told them, and maybe
if you can't go into the boss man's shop and ask for a Tampax, I can see why you wouldn't want to go into T4 and say, can I have a day off? I had an abortion yesterday, quite frankly. But
I should have, though.
You should have. I would have. I would have been like, I'm not coming in. I had an abortion yesterday.
Yeah, you would. You would. But that's some next level type of cramps, believe you me. Walking around the Royal Albert Hall having to be like, and here's Lily Allen with Chanel. It was a very weird day.
Having just had a DNC.
I was really quite heavily pregnant, and it was with Beep. And I was just so embarrassed. I was just so scared that he wouldn't want to go out with me anymore. So I kept it to myself until now. No, he doesn't know.
I remember going to Yo-Yo after I'd had my coil fitted, and I was like bleeding like a maniac. And I remember Jade. Do you remember Jade?
Yes.
She came into the toilet with me for another reason. And I was like, babe, look at what's happening. She was like, you need to go to the hospital. Like, that is an unholy amount of blood. It was pretty crazy.
So what, your coil wasn't right for you?
No, body? I don't know what it had done. It just sort of like opened the floodgates, like literally.
I used to have a coil. I miss it. It's like...
Or maybe it was when I'd had a coil taken out. I can't remember if it was put in or taken out.
But I mean, coils get... Well, you know what? Again, I would quite like to do contraception. Can we have another question? Let's stop wasting other Listen Bitch themes on this wonderful theme of periods.
That's on period.
Hi, Miquita. My name's Lottie. I'm from Sheffield, but I'm currently writing for uni. love talking about periods. I had a few different things on my mind, but I thought I must go with this one because of, good old experience. But period sex. See, I don't think it's that deep, but that's maybe because I've bled so much. I think maybe men are maybe more, I don't know, squeamish to it because it's not every year. Or are they just dickheads? I had a one-night stand where he was absolutely fine with it in the evening, not so fine with it in the morning when there was blood everywhere. Yeah, and I found out that he didn't text me back because of that. And I was just like, So, yeah, my question is, A, just thoughts on period sex in general, and B, have you got any, what's your worst story? Or what's a story, have you got a story where it went wrong? Have you got a story where it went well?
Went well? Bleeding in the bed? No, I don't have one of those. Oh, yes, of course. You mean...
Some people fucking love it.
No, I don't know whether they love it. They're just... my virgins are awful or then kind about it.
Some people love it.
What, into it? Bleed in my bed.
Yes, they want to go down on you when you're on your period.
Deep? No.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't experienced that.
It's a thing. But personally, I don't really care. But there are definitely some guys that like it and some guys that don't like it. But I think that if you're in the throes of passion, in the early stages of a relationship, from my experience, most guys will be happy to look past it because you're, in a certain period.
Yes.
But yeah, when you get past that, honeymoon phase, it's like, I'm on the rag and I just don't really want to clean the sheets straight after we've had sex, honestly. And if you want to go and get a towel and lay it on the bed,
sexy shit,
then we can do
sexy
that.
Shit,
but it seems like the moment's gone.
Definitely. Oh God, I've had boys be so mean to me about it.
How can they be mean to you about it? It's literally how humankind works. It's ridiculous.
There was one he's so nice. Do you remember that went out with Small Nat from Squat Parties?
No, but that is a dumb name, and if got anything to say about periods, he needs to check himself.
No, he was really nice. I was so fucking annoyed because I went to his house in I don't know where I was, but it was somewhere absolutely lovely. I think it was Clapham, the posh bit, and went to hang out with him at his house, and I wasn't on my period, no chance of it coming, and woke up and just blood all over the sheets. I was like, what the fuck? And he was downstairs. And I was like, he must have woken up and seen it. So I grabbed all the sheets off and just shoved them in a laundry basket in this really posh house. And then he walked me to the station and I was like, I'm never going to see him again because he's going to go back and know that I did that. And then I hid the sheets. I did see him again. It was fine. But I was just the paranoia and anxiety was hell.
Isn't it funny how we're meant to feel ashamed of that? That's where your brain went rather than he would be like, oh, she got her period.
Because it's a mess. It's the mess of yourself, I feel like. I hate being messy.
Because I'm so messy and I'm so fucking clean.
It's true, though. I shouldn't... there isn't this messy, clean need to be... I'm just a human being.
You're just a human being, babes.
And we bleed.
Not for long. Not for fucking long.
What do you mean? Oh, fuck, yeah! Oh, my God.
Not for fucking long. We are coming out of this period of bleeding out of our vaginas.
Together, right? Together. We're going to hold hands through the perimenopause, which neither of us have been diagnosed with yet, can we say?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's real.
I got a hunch.
Happening.
I got a hunch.
Okay, crazy. Can you ask for the next question?
I don't know what's
please?
wrong with me today. Sorry, everyone.
No, you're beautiful. I think we're just both a bit nuts today.
It's a moon thing.
It is very much so, though. Come on, ask for the next question.
Can I have another question about periods, please? And that's on period.
Hi, Miquita and Lily. This is Sarah. I'm from Hertfordshire, England. I love the pod and I love you guys. So thanks for everything you're doing. I wondered if, given that it's March and it's Endometriosis Awareness Month, it's also Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, and the two are quite interlinked. And I know Miquita's suffered with fibroids, and I myself suffer with endometriosis. I just wondered if we could talk about how you guys feel about the healthcare gap, if you believe that there is one, how you may have dealt with being taken seriously at the doctors for menstruation issues or conditions or diseases. You know, there's averages of 10 years diagnosed waiting time. Lots of women die early of heart disease, and all of these, I just feel like our conditions and our health just doesn't get taken as seriously as it should. And there's also just not enough research on it. So I just wondered from your experiences if you've ever suffered with any of that and how you dealt with it, how you got someone to take you seriously, or if you didn't, what you did to advocate for yourself. Thanks so much.
Yes, twice actually. Once when I had my stillborn son, and then I contracted septicemia in the days after when I went home, and my mum knew what had happened. She was like, they didn't fully deliver her placenta and it's poisoning her from the inside out. And they were like, that's a bit of a stretch. Let's just see. And then like 5 days later, after pumping me full of like a million different antibiotics that didn't work, they finally took me down to go and have a ultrasound. And they were like, oh yes, it is the placenta. And it's actually could be stuck to her womb lining, in which case we'll have to give her a hysterectomy when we take it out.
Jesus.
And the longer it had been there, the more likely it is to stick to it. So yeah, that was super annoying.
And this is just after you'd lost George, like directly after that. This started happening in your body.
Yeah. But you know, they did eventually.
Did you feel like they looked after you after that?
Yeah, they did. But the other thing that happened to me was that after I had my stalker incident of 2015, I think it was, 2016, my periods completely stopped. And I still had like some like really bad cramps and sort of issues in my tummy. And I went to go and see doctors about it, and they were like, well, don't know what's going on with you, we can't see anything. And then eventually I went to go and see a gynecologist about something different, and I told her that my periods had stopped, and she said, has anything funny happened to you in the last few months? And I said, yeah, I had a stalker who broke into my house and tried to kill me. And she was like, yeah, well, that totally makes sense. Like, when your body feels like it is in fear, it will stop its ability to to procreate, like to give birth, because it doesn't feel like it's a safe environment for you to bring a child into the world.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah, it can completely stop and your cycles can completely change. Trauma related.
Yeah. It's funny how our bodies sort of get so manipulated by our mind's trauma. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so connected. It's so unbelievably connected. So maybe we can just talk ourselves out of menopause.
Maybe.
My nan doesn't believe in it.
How's that working out for her?
She didn't really go through it. She's like, don't believe in that. Doesn't exist. So, we can tell ourselves anything.
Couple more questions?
Couple more questions?
Or did you want to answer that question, Geets? You didn't answer that question.
Oh, yeah. I was very lucky. My situation with fibroids started with the NHS, and I felt really looked after. And the minute I was given an ultrasound and they'd seen that there were all these fibroids, it was all very quick and really connected, and people were really talking to each other. And then I went private to get the actual operation done as soon as I possibly could, which I'm very lucky to do because of my family having Bupa now. But I think if I was going through the NHS on the whole road to operation, actually I know this because I have friends waiting now, it's years to get fibroids out, because they're not life-threatening per se. But I do also feel like the NHS is drowning and struggling, and they're doing their best. So I was very lucky. I was looked after very well by this country's medical health system. But of course, I heard some stories from the nurses, actually, which I won't go into, it's their story to tell. But yes, I'm sure there's a lot to fix in that world. All right, let's have another question then, please. Another one.
Hi Lily and Miquita, it's Bella. I'm at the gym in Bristol right now, and I'm wearing period pants, which are just for me absolutely life-saving, because like loads and loads of people, I get heavy, unexpected flow at the most random of times, and a tampon can't always handle it. But these weren't around when I was younger, and the decent ones are pretty expensive. So my question to you is, how do we make, all period care more accessible and cheaper, but also the good stuff that actually makes your life easier and means that you can play sports and go on hikes and, whatever else it is you want to do, even if you've got an unreliable flow. Thanks. Bye.
Don't worry, I'm working on that right now with my company. Yes, I think it's very important, particularly with skipping. A lot of women are worried about leaking when they skip, whether that be blood or urine. And I want people to feel safe and protected. So I'm looking into that for you now. I don't really know what's on the market at the moment. I haven't really started that research, but I think it can really hinder your enjoyment of sport and exercise periods. And also, if you look into what tampons are made of and what the fears of what they could do to women's bodies are, I cannot believe we still put these things in our body. Like, we've both got moon cups and they're just mocking us at this point.
I would like to hear the final question.
Hi, Lily and Miquita. My name's Gillian. I'm 42 and I live near Liverpool. I've got a 12-year-old who has just started her journey in menstruation. And while trying to give her advice, I've realised that most of, if not all, my thoughts about menstruation are quite negative. So I was wondering if you two could come up with some positive advice, positive thoughts on it, apart from the fact that being able to menstruate means that you're likely now to be fertile and able to breed. So anything other than that. Thank you.
No, I haven't got another one. That was what I was going to say, because it means you're cleared out.
You could potentially get a day off school if your cramps are bad enough.
Well, I wonder. I hope that does what that lady was saying, like there's no education about periods in school. I hope you could say.
They do that. They go to the nurse's office and they get a hot water bottle and they can lie down for a couple of hours.
Oh, that's great.
Not in my day. Not in my day.
Not in my day, and also not in my job today. I haven't been offered a hot water bottle.
One of my daughters asked me the other day if we had any pads. And in my office downstairs, in the green room in New York, there's a whole cupboard full of notebooks. And I was like, yeah, there's a whole cupboard full of pads. Just go and help yourself to anyone. And then when she came upstairs, she was like, not those pads.
Oh,
I was like, oh.
I know what incredibly well-organised stationery cupboard you're talking about, which I loved.
Anyway, I nipped off up to Rite Aid and I went and got her a selection of pads.
Okay. Yeah. That's good mothering. Why do I feel embarrassed about pads rather than tampons? I don't know why.
Because they're like nappies?
Yeah, because they're a bit like nappies. Yeah. You don't feel sexy if you have a pad.
No, it's like if somebody's like, you're snogging someone and they put their hands down your pants and they find a pad. That's not the one, is it?
It's over. The moment's definitely left us.
Shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, tampons. Just you feel just a bit more like together. Wait, I had a point. What was it? Oh yeah, this is a reason to feel good about period because you're alive. Like there's something about bleeding that, as you said, Lily, you were like, I'm a human being when you first got your period. It's not just I'm a woman. It's just something that when something very raw happens to you, it does remind you that you're alive.
Your body works.
Yeah, your body is working, and like. As I said, when I came out of surgery, I started thinking about the biology of my body so much more. And it's a really good way to take yourself away, as I said, from anxiety. Because you're like, let me just think about the fact that my heart's beating, my womb is shedding, and the blood is pumping around my body. The reason you should be happy about your period is because it reminds you that you're alive.
Before I took the girls to summer camp last summer, neither of them had started to menstruate. But obviously they were going off for 4 weeks and there was a chance that they could. So we were staying in a hotel the night before I dropped them off. And I suddenly thought, I better just run them through this thing if it happens when they're away. So I had to take them into the toilet and show them how to put a sanitary towel on their knickers. They were both like so horrified, so embarrassed. They're like, stop. And I'm like, no, you have to look. Like,
you have to know.
You have to know, otherwise you're going to be confused. And they're like, fine.
But did Alison show you?
No.
I think my mum did show me. I remember what my mum went to for a wee in front of me once and she had a string and I was like,
what the fuck is that?
What is that? Such an innocent little string that it's like, it poses millions of questions. What is
Are you
that?
an alien?
Yeah, literally. I still remember, like, we were in the Powers Terrace loo and I was like, okay, we need to have a little talk.
It's like, imagine you pull the string and your mum like starts like running around like a toy, like one of those toys where you pull the string out.
But it is an alien thing to see. It was like, I don't know what this is. So I guess I was like 7. But then I think she did teach me how to use a tampon. There's a whole episode in it of And Just Like That, the Sex and the City spin-off, where Charlotte's like teaching her daughter that it's not up, it's back.
By the way, I put one in the other day and it didn't have a tampon in it. So like I took it was like the applicator, and it was like blue and fancy and plastic, which I hadn't seen before. It was one of my cousins, and I put it in and then took the applicator out and there was no string. And I was like, is it in there?
But there was a tampon inside you.
No, I had to really dig around. I was like, have I lost it up there? Like I was like, literally my whole fucking hand, like right up inside me, looking around for this fucking thing. Nowhere to be seen. So it must have just been an empty tampon, like a faulty tampon.
Yeah, it must have been. But that's dangerous.
You get toxic shock syndrome.
Toxic shock syndrome. It can kill you to have a tampon in your body that's not meant to be there.
I know, and I've already nearly died of septicemia, so I was really like, that's why I was digging around so hard. I was like, fucking hell.
No, I will not go this way. Not this way. Come on. I've dodged too many bullets to die today like this. We've done enough here. I think we've done good work here today.
I think we're done here. And that's on period.
And that's on period. You know what? We're done. Period.
We're done, and that's on period.
So, oh shit, it's my week. I really wanted to talk about something, but I think I might need to make it broader and then tell people to come here for that reason. So, the theme for next week's Listen Bitch is hair. Now, the reason for this is because I am dying to talk to men about baldness and balding and what that does to men and what that journey's like for them. And also just my horrific hair stories, and Lily's got some too. So we're talking about hair, but I'm really asking men to come forward and have this space to talk about the reality of losing hair. 85% of men experience hair loss. And I just don't feel like we're talking about it.
You just made that up.
Lily fancies bald guys a lot. No. So don't worry, this isn't just a safe space.
I don't fancy bald guys. You've had
2?
I fancy 3. Grateful guys, and some of them happen to be bald.
Okay, we'll see you next week. There you go. I'm sorry, the number is 08000 30 40 90. 08000 30 40 90. Gentlemen, come forth, come hither. This is your time. In a place where we've never particularly made you feel hugely welcome. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's Lily. I'm saying.
Fuck you.
We will see you. No, that's not true either.
Men.
Me too. And I want to really talk about this. So we're here for you. We're here for you, fellas. All right, I'm going to go now.
Okay. Love you.
I love you too. I'll really think about moving into that flat underneath your house.
Good.
Why not? Why not? Let's be roomies. We did say we were going to start the commune. This is the beginning. Bye-bye, Lily Allen.